Right, year 11, just a quick screencast here just to clarify a couple of things to do with solving simultaneous equations using matrices and just looking at the example that we did in class. In fact, that's from the textbook 3A, page 88, and that's on the screen at the moment. And just to talk through those steps again, just to make sure, just to clarify some of the important things. Right at the top, you can see the matrix multiplication here that reflects the question, which was, I'll just write the question next door here, which is minus 2x plus 4y equals 6. So we were solving this system of simultaneous equations. Minus 2x plus 4y equals 6. 3x plus y equals 1. So what you can see here is in this first matrix, which I've called the coefficient matrix, we're just writing in the coefficients from the left side. So the x coefficients across, so the x coefficients in the first column, so minus 2, 3 in the first column, and the y coefficients, 4 and 1 in the second column. So it's all lined up, x, y, excuse me, and if they're not lined up for you in the question, then you need to line them up yourself. So these are our x, these are our y coefficients. We've got our xy matrix here, and over the right hand side of the equation we've just got our numerical solution matrix. So if you look at it, minus 2, as we do in rows and columns, minus 2x plus 4y equals 6, and that's how this multiplication matrix here and this matrix equation mirrors the algebraic one on the left there, and that you're used to seeing from your previous work in simultaneous equations. So I'm just undoing all that stuff now, so it's not going to confuse us later on. Okay, so that's how it's set up. Then what we worked on today was an understanding that to get xy from this first step, to be able to isolate now what we're trying to find, which is this, to isolate that, what we need to do is sort of dissolve that, if you like. I use this sort of language, dissolve. We need to remove it, erase it. It's just the same as any equation where there's something we don't want. We have to undo it. Now the way to undo it in matrix land is to take the inverse of it and multiply by it. Because when the inverse of this matrix, when you multiply this matrix by its inverse, like any matrix times its inverse, you get the identity matrix, which is the 1 matrix. So what we're doing here is to dissolve this, we need to multiply both sides from the left by the inverse of this matrix. So that's why we've got this next step here, which just says xy equals, because what I've done, sort of an invisible step here, is I've multiplied both sides by the inverse matrix, which is this one here, minus 2, 4, 3, 1 to the minus 1. That's the inverse of that matrix there. So multiplying both sides by that means that it's dissolved on the left, and it's here on the right hand side. It's on the left hand side of 6, 1, because it was put in on the left hand side, on this side of the equation. Remember, that's important in matrices because it does matter the order that you multiply in. So I have to put my inverse matrix in here to the left of 6, 1. I have to squeeze it in there on the right hand side. Okay, on the right hand side of the equation, sorry. So we've got the inverse of this, which I did manually, which was minus 1 over 14, which is minus 1 over AD minus BC. AD is minus 2, BC is 12. So minus 2 minus 12 gave me minus 14, so minus 1/14. Switch the 1 and the minus 2 around, the 4 becomes minus 4, the 3 becomes minus 3. Like I said in class, if you do this multiplication first, the matrix multiplication first, to get that, it's going to be an easier process for you than running this through here first. The calculation is much easier. So this times this matrix times this matrix gets us 2 minus 20. We then run the minus 1 over 14 through, and we get minus 1/7 and 10/7. So therefore, x equals minus, because remember over here, this side of the equation, over this side of the equation, we've just got xy. So we've solved xy equals, and so we've got our x equals -1/7, y equals 10/7, and we've written that out down there. Okay, so that's the process. What I've asked you to do for homework is to do questions 3B and 3C also. And what you have to do in 3C is line your x's and y's up and get your coefficient matrix on the left-hand side in the right order. So be careful of that. And then I've asked you to do question 3D using your calculator rather than doing it manually. Again, you'll need to make sure that it's not written for you in the format that you type straight into your matrix. It needs to read xy, xy. The point I was making at the start here, these are your x's and these are your y's. And I think in D, you just needed to switch them around. I'll leave that to you, and you can check your answers in the back of the book. And if it's wrong, you just need to probably look at your matrix element entry. But what I want to do now is just do this question here that's just been done, and what I asked you to do at the end of class was to do this on the calculator. So on the calculator, on your CAS calculator, you've got a matrix function. We can put this whole thing in. We can ask the calculator to solve it from scratch. That's what I'm going to do now, and I'm going to do that on the screen here just as a demo. So we are going to go straight into the algebra and solve function. So we get solve up on the screen. Now we're going to type in our coefficient matrix, which was -2, 4, 3, 1. Okay, I'll tab out of that. You got to be careful we stay within the bracket, within the big solve bracket. Tab out of that. Now we're multiplying by the xy matrix now. So I need a little 2 by 1. That one there. And in there is going x and y. Tab out of that. Equals another 2 by 1. And we've got 6, 1 over the other side. Tab out of that, hit comma, x, comma, y, because we want it to solve for x and y. That should do it. I hit enter. X equals -1/7 and y equals 10/7. So in an instant we get the solution. If you're in a calculator paper, you just go and you're solving a matrix equation, then that's what you do. You go straight in and access that. So can you now, one of your tasks for homework for Thursday is to do that, but with question 3D. And we'll check out any any questions and problems you've got or you've had on Thursday, but also feel free to email me for any clarification that you need in the meantime. And on Thursday, as a reminder, we'll just do a little class quiz as well and see how you've gone with your matrices and check your progress with that. Okay, see you later.